Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's time for a smidge of a garden tour. But before I get started, I just need to do a little bit of a cleanup because we had a rainstorm and it kind of relocated things in the garden. I also wanted to say for those of you that are new to the channel, that this channel is really all about sharing my garden and journaling things. But what you may see is also gardening from my sister cousin who is in zone 5B. So if you're in a different zone, you can look forward to seeing something from zone 5B and also from 9B. That was my telephone and I'm not re-recording. So there you have it. So after I get done with this, I'm going to go ahead and give you all the short tour. Good morning all. It's actually Mother's Day, Sunday. I think it's the 14th of May. And I wanted to do a garden tour so we can see what kind of growth we had for this week. And we had a spot of a rainstorm yesterday. And so I just had to straighten up my pathway down here because the water just washed everything away. So I'm gonna have to work on that. But in any case, let's go. So this is what we're looking at from the street side to get started. And we're gonna try to make this as quick as possible. So this is my flower garden right here. And up here at the top, we have roses. No roses right now. I pruned them back. Those are actually knockout roses. You don't have to prune them, but I do to make it look a little prettier. So they just look like bushes right now. Down here at the bottom are buttercups, and they're starting to flush. And with the when the buttercups come on, they will make their blooms and they die the same day. So they bloom every day, so they're very nice. And I also wanted to mention that all of these plants, all of them, except for this, I grew from seeds, were all clearance plants. So y'all go get your clearance plants. So we got the 3 buttercups. And then down here was from a seed packet that I got from the dollar store. So no blooms just yet, but we do have lots of foliage. We do have, well, I'll take that back. There's a little bloom right there. Not sure what it is yet, but it's looking quite pretty. And then to the right side, we have another rose and we have another salvia. Now this side looks a bit different because I'm trying to make it like when you first come into the garden, there's some nice flowers. So I am building it up a bit and doing some testing because, lots of water comes off the roof. But we still have our little boots here. And inside of the boots is some aloe vera. It's still trying to get its life together. It doesn't look alive, but it is. And then we have some zinnias on this side. And hopefully some sunflowers will pop up as well. Now, wouldn't you know it, as soon as I come out here to record, there's a moving truck that's coming in right behind my fence. Moving right along, we have our fountain, which I moved from last week, still testing. I had this tote in the back of my house and I decided to put a lantana in here. And then I put the fountain, still working on the fountain. So you can see I got the fountain going. I just had to correct the orientation, you can see my shadow, of the solar panel. And I put a little makeshift lantern here as well to make it kind of pretty. Still working on the decor for that, but that's how it goes. I also wanted to mention, y'all, that I got this bowl from Goodwill for like 10 bucks. I had one before for the other fountain and I broke it. So every time I find these, I pick them up. They're pretty cool. So we got the lantana here. And then we have our miniature roses, which are kind of sitting in the walkway for now because I didn't want them to get drowned. But look, y'all. We got miniature roses. And this is going to be a work in progress. It's going to be a garden bed as well. And it's an old drawer from a nightstand that I rescued off of the curb. And I'm just going to go straight down the side and then come back up. So here I just have my sitting area. You know, I had to move some things over here as well, but I still think they kind of got washed out. I have some of my cactus here that I rescued from my mom's house, but I think I'm gonna have to find a different spot for it because this is not a good spot in my sitting area. And down here by the chair is a wayward, I don't know what it is, volunteer plant. I'm just waiting for it to get bigger so I can transplant it. Then we have some aloe I put in some chairs, and I also have some morning glories growing in there. We have another aloe that's looking quite pretty. Y'all, the aloes love the rain. It does not love the water that comes from the house. And then we also have some volunteer basil. Y'all have basil everywhere. Basil and morning glories are everywhere. We have another aloe, and then as we come here, we have a sunflower that is on its way out. So I'll probably be pulling that soon. But inside, we have another basil. And then we have some chives here with basil. Who'da knew? These pots are empty. And then we have our strawberries here. The strawberries are coming on. You can see some strawberries down up in there. Ooh, look at that one. And then as we come towards the back, this area is not in use. And then I have 2 moringa trees back here. Now, I will say I have not been taking care of the moringa trees. I grew these from seeds. They're definitely alive. And I did say that I'm going to be getting rid of them because I just don't have a place for them, and I still think that stands. I did have some people that said, hey, you can grow moringas in containers. The problem is this. I don't know if you can see that, but they just bust right out of the pots and their roots grow into the ground. Are they really growing in the containers? I would tend to say no. They're growing in the ground, so I'm sure the one that's sitting on the ground is probably in the ground now. My lemon tree also did the same thing. It bust out of the bottom and the roots grew into the ground. So that's not going to be a solution for me, but I digress. So here in this container is Malabar spinach, and it's definitely volunteer from last year. There also is probably some zinnias in here as well. And then we have the good old greenhouse. I did replant some of my mustard greens. Y'all don't have much over here at all. And then we have one marigold. We have some dahlias back here in the back. And still no chives. Now we're gonna go back up, and over here is really nothing but weeds in here, but I did repot some of my greens. These are mustard greens, and they are looking kind of saddish right now. Hopefully that middle one will come back. I don't know. I got some more little seedlings, so we'll see. I also put a colis into an old, what do you call it? Watering can. That was not good for watering, but definitely good for growing things. So I snipped off some pieces of colis and just dunked them in here, and we'll see how they grow. And then we have our salvia, which is looking pretty, but the rain kind of beat it up yesterday. Then onto the melon plants. I don't know which melons are which. I have to actually look back at the videos and see. I videoed it when I actually put them in, but it kind of doesn't matter. These are all small personal sized melons. So one of them is a Kajari. I think 2 of them is the Majaraj, which I say different every time. I really need to get a handle on that. And then I have the sugar babies, and I have way too many in here, and they're growing really good. So I already know. Yeah, I already know I probably need to take them out, but I don't know if I will. We'll see. And they should grow up the trellis quite nicely. And over here we have our pumpkins, and the pumpkins are looking pretty good. This one is the runt, and so we don't know what we're gonna do with that one. And over on this trellis we have another salvia plant here, and we have our wayward bean plant. Oh, y'all can see how much it rained. This was empty yesterday. Let's empty you. And this is an asparagus bean because it came from last year, and I only grew asparagus beans over here. And then we have some muncher cucumbers, which we only have 2 that are really doing well. And I think I'm going to put some more cucumbers in here of a different variety, just as a succession sowing type of thing. I'm just going to kind of point these out from this side. This is the Aloe Garden is in the inside of the trellis, and the eggplant and the sage. So let's go in and take a peek at those. Before we do that, this is the outside of the cage here. This was actually my tomato cage. I call it the dream cage. Oh, look at this. Look at those raptors. They're everywhere. Look at him looking at me. Boy, don't do it. Y'all, those raptors will jump. They never jumped at me. You know, I'm just saying. And look at our sunflower patch. Our volunteer sunflower patch, because I didn't plant those. All right, down here is a white bucket that I just need to move. It's absolutely empty, doesn't have anything in it. And then we have some gladioluses. And then here is my lemon balm that has not peeked its head out just yet. And on the Aloe Garden, we have our basil. And if you go down here, we have some slow boat cilantro and also some parsley that's trying to come out. And y'all, and I've been pulling up a million. Y'all, look at that. That's freaky, isn't it? That is a morning glory. And they only have like these long roots like this when they're babies. And then when they get big, they have pretty shallow roots. But I just been pulling those out because I don't want them to grow in there. And I have morning glories everywhere. So as we go in, we have our herbs. We have some mint. We have our rosemary. And we have some oregano back here. Y'all, smell so good in here. And going up, I just want to show you. I put this shade cloth on before anything started growing. And everything is growing under the shade cloth. Which is perfect. I didn't know it would do that. I thought it would go over the top, but I'm okay with that. So that's a morning glory that's growing across there. But I also have some Kentucky Wonders here that are growing up as well, and they are looking fantastic. And down here, we have some dill, which I need to come in and do a little bit of weeding. You have to be delicate when you weed out the dill, because the plants are so fragile, you don't want to grab the wrong thing. And over here I have a few sage plants over here. They are right there. And here is the eggplant. Y'all, I'm so close because there's no room in here to film. And I think we have some more eggplants coming on. I'm not sure, but we do have the one. Yay. Hopefully by the end of the week, I'll be picking that. Keep my eye on you. And here's the Aloe Garden. And you can see also there's morning glories growing over the top. And they are actually growing from this pot right here, which had morning glories in it. I pulled a lot out. And I did top all of my basil, and they're growing back already. They're gonna grow nice and bushy. And at the bottom, I don't have anything down here just yet. And you can see from the inside here, we have our sunflowers. Now, I'm surprised the sunflowers made it through the rainstorm, but I'm glad they did. Because y'all is gorgeous. And this is the other side of the dream trellis, or arches, whatever you want to call it. And you can see the sunflower patch again. Just gorgeous. And I don't think I shared up under here. I just, like, y'all, I have so many aloes. I just stabbed some aloes in here. And they were all brown, but now they're green. So they are growing. Give you a little closer shot. And in this one back here has a morning glory and a whole bunch of weeds, but they're okay. I'm gonna leave them there. And this is hard to see, but this is actually some volunteer New Zealand spinach from last year. And it just has a lot of dirt on it from the rain. And in here in the trunk, we have some comfrey. And we have another comfrey plant over here. And this is a volunteer bean plant. I think that's an asparagus bean as well. And the rest of these are Kentucky Wonders. And we have stevia. And y'all, top the stevia, and it is getting bushy. And this was kind of a volunteer from last year as well. And here, I'm still waiting for the celery to come up. I have some other plants in here that I can't identify. I think they're just weeds, and they're probably gonna get pulled out. But no celery yet. Now here we have our bell pepper plants. I think I have some red, some green, and some orange. And you know, at any time I can pull those bell peppers off at the green stage and eat them. So I never put in green bell peppers because it doesn't make sense. Look, I call this my sunflower tower. And I'm sure this has made some seeds now, or the seeds have developed. So this is ready to take off. So sometime this week, I'll be taking that off. You can see the bell peppers are coming on. And below the bell peppers, we have our very dirty basil. And it's not looking too good today. I don't know what happened. Y'all, I forgot what these are called that quick. They're all over the place. They start with a C. Y'all, that's how my memory works. It just like cuts off sometimes. So I have some in here. And I chopped one down here, but we still have, this is one plant, y'all. It's beautiful. And then we have one here. Colices. They are colices. And then here in my work area, which I cleared out, we have some purslane. And this is like some small purslane. And they get very tiny blooms. They don't have any right now. They might get some a little later on today. And we still don't have anything growing here on my pallet wall, but it's coming. Look at that guy go. Go, guy, go. You're blocking my sun, mister. You're blocking my sun. Doesn't he look like a dinosaur? And hello, Budweiser and Prince Charming and Mr. Buddha. They're not going just yet. Y'all, I always like to show by my front door too, because these plants, they have growth too, and I like to see that over time. So this is a dumb cane plant. That's what it's called. You can look it up. I'm not lying. And it is looking really beautiful. I call it my generational plant. So whenever you hear the generational plant, that's because my mom bought this plant from Indiana. And then we have our succulents. Let's go to church, y'all. Prayer time for my lemon plant. And the bachelor buttons, they might need a little prayer too. They're looking a little crazy. And we have our gladioluses, and we have some black-eyed Susans in here. And this little guy, he kind of got buried yesterday. Y'all, I don't have to do anything to my sweet potatoes. They are doing fantastical. And I don't have to do anything to these guys because they're just like wild animals. And those are aloe. And I think those are zinnia in there. I don't know how they got there, but I think those are zinnia. And then back here, I'm gonna call this my wayward garden. The only thing we have is our hydrangeas. And they are getting ready to bloom. Look at that. So pretty. This is hydrangea number 2. and hydrangea number 3. So let's do a final walkthrough of the garden. I always like to do kind of an overview of everything, you know, at least once a week, so I can see how things are going. And I like to do it in a broader visual perspective, if that makes sense. And I kind of wish other gardeners would do that as well. I love seeing garden tours, but I love seeing how the garden looks overall. And for those of you that are new to the channel, this garden is being done in an urban setting, of course, and it's being done between my house and my neighbor's house. And they allow me to do that. They love it, and I try to take care of it, and I want to say make it so it's not too messy, but they're okay with it. And I've been doing a good job of taking care of both of our areas. But I always want to remember to have fun. And these videos help me to take notes of things that I still need to get done. Or not so much need, but want to get done. I love it. Y'all, even though it's partially shaded out here, your girl is sweating. So it's time for me to go in. I hope you all enjoyed the tour. Don't forget, y'all, please, please, please give this video a thumbs up. I see lots of people watching. I don't know, maybe y'all don't like it. Give the video a thumbs up. And I'll see you on the next garden tour. Bye.